Your 3 minutes are up.
My 3 minutes are up. Thank you, Council. I appreciate it.
But thank you so much, Mr. Weiss, for sharing, and thanks for all that you do in the community. So thank you. Emory Begley.
Hello, my name is Emory Begley, and I live at 46 West Street. I am here tonight to speak up for our homeless neighbors and against the City of Akron's half-thought-out, poorly implemented Housing First policy, which is actually best summed up as a housing-only initiative. To let you know where I'm coming from, I have seen both sides of homelessness. In 2009, I came to Akron, escaping a deadly combination of the cult I was raised in and abuse. I stayed at the battered women's shelter in their Step 2 building for 3 months and received assistance from them for the next 2 years with my rent and utilities. During that time, I received case management, counseling, assistance with benefit sign-up, daycare assistance, help with food, school supplies, uniforms, transportation for my kids, and much more. Since then, I have been able to access resources to get treatment for substance abuse and ongoing mental health issues. I have developed skills that have allowed me to cope with the everyday stressors that we all face. And I have used these skills to give back. In 2019, I became a peer support specialist and began working with multiple organizations in Cleveland, serving chronic and shelter-resistant homeless populations. Since then, I have left that line of work, choosing instead to dedicate my skills locally to mutual aid groups. I know that my story is the kind that you like to hear, but I didn't get here on my own. I am a product of a lot of people who fought for me, and then with me, and then I was able to fight for others. I didn't do this without all of them standing in front of me until I could stand with them. Eventually, I did the work, but not right away. I'm here because they believed in me. And right now we have programs where people are left to figure it out. We have camps that are being taken down and people who are being left to go nowhere. Would you like it if somebody came and took you out of your home, away from your family and your community, placed you somewhere new, and said, figure it out? And that's what's happening. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness, housing first does not mean housing only. It means that you have to have services in place to address individual needs. It needs to include things like sanctioned encampments, tiny house villages, permanent supportive housing buildings, rapid rehousing programs, and voucher programs that actually work. And the one in Akron right now does not, because landlords won't accept it. You need to get landlords on the same page with your clients, with the homeless members. Housing first is, at its very core, freedom from barriers. It means no religious services to eat or sleep. It means that you don't have to meet criteria or have money in the bank or be free from substances or pass a background check to get help. And I know my time is up, but I just want to say real quick that as much as society supports the idea of a successful homeless person, we don't get here without everyone behind us and in front of us leading the way. Thank you.
Emory, thank you so much for coming and sharing. Thank you. Gage Gallagher.
My name is Gage Gallagher. I live at 166 North Portage Path in Ward 1. And you guys might think that I'm here this week to talk about the houseless encampments, but I'd actually like to kind of set that aside for a second and talk about some LGBTQ plus issues that we're experiencing in our community. I don't know if some of you have seen down at the State House, they are working on pushing through a ban on transgender people, mainly women and girls, on participating in sports. And I spent my Friday down there at the State House holding up a big old sign that was like, hey, don't do this, it's not right. But it's not about sports, it's about taking more of our power away. And we don't have very much. And that's the part that's very, very frustrating, because we do have legislation in place and it's not working. We have restaurants that are openly discriminating against transgender people in Ward 1, actually, that are not receiving any sanction. Nobody's doing anything about it. And I've brought this up, and we've tried to say something about it, and nobody did anything. We have what's supposed to be a housing first policy that leaves us all behind. The rate of queer homelessness is very, very high, especially in our city. The rate of housing insecurity, which means, couch surfing, one paycheck away from houselessness, stuff like that, that is a very high rate as well. And some of our queer friends and neighbors are also being intimidated by the police, harassed, bothered, for no reason other than just existing. When people get pulled over, there is a higher rate that they will be harassed. And the establishment is afraid of our power. When I was down there in Columbus, it was me and maybe 40 or 50 other people just standing out there saying our piece, holding our signs. There were kids running around. It was a really happy thing. And at the State House, they actually brought out a police officer with a dog right on the State House stairs to intimidate these children for speaking up. And I just don't think that that's acceptable. And I encourage the city and our officials here to think about the legislation that we have and how we can make it better, because it's not good enough. It's not protecting us. It's just not working. And I really want to know, are you all planning on doing something about it, or do we have to do it ourselves? Do we have to take it to a ballot initiative? Because we can take it there. We have the tools, we have the resources, because we've built them up ourselves, outside of society, because we're not allowed to live in it. That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Gage, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Terry, and I apologize, I can't make out the last name.
Hi, my name is Terry Hepful, and I thank Donnie Kamer for inviting me today. Last week,